Samoa are through to the next Rugby World Cup, folks. In a kind of unlikely fashion, they got a draw with Belgium, 13 points apiece. I've just watched this one this morning. It was a Wednesday morning for me here in NZ, 4:30 kickoff to see who would get through in this final spot at the World Cup, and it's Samoa with a draw, 13 points apiece, as I said. The celebrations were almost non-existent. They were pretty muted from the Samoan guys come the end of this game. I think they were predicted to win the match. But as I said, a draw for them is good enough. Remembering there were 4 teams in this final qualification tournament, the Namibians, the Brazilians, and these 2 teams. So because Samoa came into this game with 1 point on the log with the previous results better than Belgium, a draw was going to be good enough. And that 1 point proves to be the difference maker. We'll go through some of the key events and stats pretty quick. You guys can let us know your thoughts. It's the first time I've ever covered a Belgium match. So if you like that, subscribe to the channel. Samoa's had multiple chances to qualify for this World Cup. In the Pacific Nations Cup, they lost to Tonga. If they'd won that one, in all likelihood, they would have qualified. And then they had a match against the Americans. If they'd won that, they would have qualified. They had a match against Chile. Multiple chances. This was the last chance saloon. And they've just done it. They've just done it. I mean, both sides missed some chances early. And as I said, first time watching Belgium. Seems like they're a bit of a mauling team. They had a chance to maul early. Nothing came from it. The Samoans had a bit of wide ball, which they couldn't quite convert, and they shelled a lot of ball in this game, the Samoans. They dropped. The turnovers conceded was pretty horrendous. They did get Jacob Umanga from the tee to get them some points on the board after 7 minutes, though, so 3 points to nil. And then Nico Jones, son of Michael, got himself yellow carded on 11 minutes, caused a bit of handbags with a high tackle. I don't think it was the most egregious of high tackles because he was relatively bent, but still enough for a yellow card. And enough for the Belgians to slot a 3-pointer, so 3 points apiece. Nothing else comes during the yellow card period for Belgium, which they'll be a bit disappointed about because man advantage. And in fact, Samoa actually missed a penalty during that time. Umanga left 6 points out there today. But Belgium had a yellow card of their own when their right winger, what is his name? Montoisi put in a, pronunciation's going to be terrible, a bit of a grass cutter tackle. So Samoa had a chance to punish as well with a man advantage. But again, not a lot came of it. Their closest one was out on the left wing when Waliko dropped it pretty much in the act of scoring, but great defence from the Belgians, 2 of them, to tackle him in the corner. So unable to convert, but they did manage to concede a 3-pointer. Belgium, despite the yellow card, took the lead after Samoa had conceded a penalty at maul time. So as I said, Belgium going for the maul. 6 points to 3 lead. They took a lead into the sheds at halftime. I mean, Samoa had a heap of phases before halftime that ended up being turned over at the breakdown. Belgium were really good in that area. And Belgium actually also left 3 points up there because they had a shot right before halftime with the clock in the red to extend the lead to 9-3, but they missed it. So it's a 3-point game at halftime. I don't know that many saw that coming. Samoa has edged the possession and territory, but they've had no line breaks. They would get no line breaks the entire game, which is a credit to both the Belgian defence and a bit of a critique on the Samoan attack lacking a bit of fluidity. But the turnover counts 5-1. The Belgians have just been turning the Samoan guys over. Second half starts. There's more chances down the Belgian end. There's more knock-ons from Samoa. But again, you got to give credit to the Belgians for their defence. And there's a bit of tension building, you feel like, because like Sama Malolo has just come on. And as the Samoan guys win a penalty on defence, he kind of stirs up the pot, walking over one of the Belgian guys and gives him a bit of a shove and sees a penalty reversed. So there is a real genuine chance for Belgium. Thankfully for Malolo, they don't convert it. They go through heaps of phases, eventually get held up in the tackle. If the Belgians had scored there, man, who knows how this game goes, but not to be. And then the Samoan scrum really started monstering the Belgians. The Belgians did get themselves a yellow card warning at scrum time, although nothing ended up coming of that. And to be fair, there was also a little, because it was a modest crowd, but there was a pocket of Belgian fans who were really, really loud in their support of their team. And like when Samoa were knocking it on, these guys, as the Belgians defended for their lives, the fans were really getting behind them. So you do love to see that kind of support, because Belgium, obviously a pretty emerging rugby nation, but they've got a small group of die-hard fans there who've made their way to the Middle East to watch this game. So yeah, good on those supporters. They were very close to witnessing history. And yeah, just when you thought the Samoans were really gonna, I don't know, turn the screws, demolish the Belgians at scrum time again, they got pinged at scrum time themselves. So it seemed like anybody's game, but then Abraham Papali'i comes off the bench, scores a pretty close range try after a whole load of phases to make it 10 points to 6, and then they extend the lead as Belgium go offside a couple of times. First penalty is missed, one a couple of minutes later sees the Samoans get 13 points on the board through Umanga, which pretty much seems like game over, because Belgium did need 2 scores, but they got one of them through Decubert. Again, it's close range phases. The TMO had to check it, but he spots a grounding. They convert the conversion. 13 points apiece with minutes to play. It resorts to a bit of a kicking duel as Samoa look to play territory, which is the smart thing. All you need to do is hold it. And yeah, they're able to win a scrum penalty. Excuse me, to essentially get themselves down Belgium's end, line out, win the line out, kick it out, and game over. So as I said, the celebrations for Samoa were pretty muted. The guys were just job done, absolutely nothing more. The Belgian guys looked to be out on their feet after tackling the house, and they did make a lot of tackles, 174 to 123, so they had to do a lot of defending in this game. The Belgians, they won 7 turnovers to 3. And Samoa will not be happy with how much ball they copped up, and they, as I said, they scored generated no line breaks. No line breaks at all. There was only 2 line breaks the entire game, and they were both to Belgium. A bit surprising. But Decubert, man, gets the try for Belgium. Is their top ball carrier. Remu, the right winger, has left winger for 5 defenders beaten from him. Nico Jones also had 5 defenders beaten, 13 tackles, 13 carries despite his yellow card. And Theo McFarland also 13 carries for the Samoans. But yeah, Belgium, 1 point away from a famous first ever World Cup appearance, but not to be. It is Samoa, as per usual, like getting to themselves to a World Cup. So yeah, 13 points apiece. Nobody saw it coming in that fashion, but that's it. Subscribe to this channel if you want more rugby action. As I said, first time covering the Belgians is something nice, but Samoa get their way to another World Cup. You guys take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.